I mean, we were talking off camera about how some people just think it's a cult stock. And, one perspective on that is like, yeah, it's just a cult stock. It's whatever. The other perspective is it's a fucking cult stock, which means the cult is not going to sell for a 2x or 3x. The cult is going to stay with it, right? If SoFi goes to 15 today, I don't know about you guys. Obviously, if it went there tomorrow, we would sell because that'd be ridiculous. But if it goes to 15 over the next 10 months, I'm not selling because we know the potential of it.
Let me ask you that, Amit. What if SoFi, by whatever, let's say short squeeze, hits 20 tomorrow? And
then I'm out. Then I'm out.
You're out.
Okay, yeah. But that's just because you have to be logical, right? But if we give it 7-8 months and it naturally, as earnings grow and everything starts to get better, macro gets better, goes to 15, why would you sell for a 3x? Like the cult keeps the stock alive. This is how Tesla maintained going up 10, 20x because people didn't sell.
If that happens, we get a short squeeze, it hits 20 next week, you sell out completely. Do we get to replace you on the spot?
No, because you would sell too, motherfucker. You're definitely
selling. I would sell too.
Like all of you are selling.
Okay, well, does it? Okay, so what?
If it goes up 400% in 1 week, if you don't sell, that's not like you should sell.
I mean, my options are definitely getting sold for sure.
That's because it's gonna come back down.
300.
Like, you know that. 300%. Like it's gonna go back down. Go ahead,
Tanner. Yeah. So I mean, the game either is the market going up by 4x or is SoFi going up by 4x? Because if SoFi is going up by 4x, I mean, there are other deals on the market. I'll find them. You know what I mean? I'll sell it and wait for it to return and hold new stock in the interim.
Yeah, and again, the thing is, we don't want it to go up 4x in a week because that's just like not a healthy stock, right? Like all of us would be cool. Like if this thing goes 4x over the next 2 years, and people have been accumulating for those 2 years, and they're up a healthy 2, 3x, whatever it is, or even 4x. I still don't think a lot of people, because again, that's like when it's like when Tesla went to $10 pre-split, and then it went to 30. Like the Dave Lees of the world that were in the Reddit since 2013, they were not selling. They still haven't sold because they recognized what the potential was.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I saw in the comments is like, why did it go up that amount? Like, are we posting Q1 and you know what, we're showing the difference between 470,000 and 500,000 members, and then we show 1.5 million just because it like blew up on TikTok or something? Because if that's the case, then I'm not selling. So that's real gains. You know what I mean? But if the stock price is changing just because of sentiment, like people like Noto's hair or something like this, I'm out. Like, right. You know what I mean?
Gabe says you're forgetting the macro sucks. Well, I think that's our point. The macro, which is why I'm not expecting a 4x anytime soon, right? I'm happy to accumulate while we're here. But eventually, if we get there, I still don't think, even in 2 years, like who sells at a $20 stock price if your average is 5 and they've grown tremendously into like, no, you hold on to some winners. You give it another 7 years and you have some real cash by 2030 that you can do something with in your life because, you bet it on a good company.
Amit, let me ask you, speaking to like SoFi becoming cult status, I don't see SoFi becoming like a cult status until the app becomes awesome. Like, or
that's a triviality, Riley. Like that's such a trivial.
No, like the app becoming awesome will lead to a lot of cultish user engagement, and I mean cultish in less of the traditional way that cult is used. But what people are saying right now is that on social media, people tweeting all day like you and me and Tanner about SoFi, that is a cult-like behavior, and that's okay because that means there's interest in the company.
So let me explain the rationality, Riley. Cool. This is why it's a triviality, okay?
What do you mean by triviality? Like
it's like a minor logistical point. It's not like a big. It's trivial. Here's why. Them upgrading their app has not been due to incompetence or an inability to do so. It has been due to prioritization of other bigger revenue generating items. And so they can update their app tomorrow and come up with this beautiful reskinned version, but they're not doing that on purpose because they're prioritizing other things. So that's why I say it's super trivial. Like if their app was the only thing that was stopping them from getting $20, then they could prioritize that top of the list, get it out next week,
But what I'm trying to say is banking apps like really suck in America, and people don't realize it because there's no other alternative. And I really think that if SoFi does have a product that is super sticky, like better, like obviously better than a ton of all the other options, and it's just like a no-brainer decision, Like,
I mean, look, Riley, you might be right that if a lot of people start switching to SoFi, like it creates that kind of cult behavior and more retail sentiment as well because the app is good. But I think in general, like the interest in the stock is cult heavy, just like it is for Palantir, just like it is for Tesla. And here's the thing, no one should feel ashamed of that. There are very few companies that have the actual financials and the growth prospects and have a cult, right? So you've got AMC that has a cult, but they have nothing going for them, right? Like apps, it's just pure bag holding, cult, like it's just nothing. Same thing with GameStop, same thing with, some of the other SPACs and stuff. But SoFi actually, this is why it's sad that, it got caught up in the Chamath stuff, but Chamath picked a good one. It was just, the market tanked. And so having that cult means we are not going to let this go at 3-4x. We're going to wait for a 5, 7, 8x, because if you let it go to 3x and they're still growing 30% year over year by 2025, and then it goes up another 7x and you look like a dumbass because you sold for a measly 3x when you got in at the right moment, no one wants to be that person. So I think it's good that it's
yeah,
good.
No, I think you'd be hard pressed to find many stocks that are either being held by such large retail holdings versus institutions. At the multiples that we're at and at the market cap that we're at, as well as like even looking at YouTube or any of these things like these search factors. Find another stock with this high of search traffic and this low of a market cap. I think the only one that I've ever seen be even close is at this automotive company called Mullen. It's extremely popular retail traders. Yeah, but I'm not a fan. I don't hold it, but it is popular in terms of on YouTube and stuff.
Mullen went up like 200% back in March 2022, and it's been falling ever since. There were people in my DMs,
and they've never forgot,
and never recovered. But now there's a cult about, and there's people making videos, and those videos will get views. But what the fuck does Mullen have going for it, right? Compared to SoFi, so I don't know. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a shareholder right now and analyzing this company every week.